3, 2, 1. You're live. Hopefully the audio isn't bad. It says we have an excellent connection. I'm going to go ahead and announce this here thinger on the Discord at everybody. So if I wake you up, well, I guess you needed to be up anyways. General at everyone. Going live. All right, last time in the last video we made a program called Basic Lesson 1, and I challenged y'all to crack it and submit your patched file to Discord. Some of you typed in the comments what you would do. Perfectly fine too. By all means, write it in there. Because if somebody's looking in there to find an answer and they go apply it, they still learned. There's really no cheating, all right? There's no, like, as long as you're learning, that's all that matters. So as far as actual patch file submissions, we got one from Cat5, soon to be known Cat5e, who has been going through video after video and, like, annotating timestamps that he found helpful, which is really, really cool. And I really appreciate that, because I know that some of these videos get really long. Some parts of it aren't particularly helpful. Like right now, we're not doing anything. I'm literally just talking. And then in other things, parts of it are very helpful. So that's really cool of him to do that for you all. Let's move that. Okay, so we did get one from Cat5, one from Blue Knight, and one from Crash Override. And let's see here. These were all submitted on Discord. They're there now for anyone who wants to grab them, but let's get down to business because I don't have a whole lot of time, and we have a bit to cover. So let's start with Mr. Blues. Let's open his up. And we're going to run once just to get into here. Patches, import. Let's grab those. I put them on the desktop. Mr. Blue. Let's see what he did. So he changed from 94 to 95. So sete to set NE and a jump if not equal to a jump if equal. Let's click that and see if I was right. Hey, look at that. Sete to set NE. And this as well. Curious, like it will work. This, however, will essentially do nothing. But let's test it out. Let's hit run. And let's put in my user, FJLJ. And that's not my code. Well, we're going to get my code. It shouldn't matter. Should be able to put a bad one in. And hey, look at that. We did it. So let's go to where those were. And let's put a breakpoint right about here. Rewind that. Close that. All right. Grab that number, calculator, times 5, grab that number. Because a good crack, if there is such thing as good crack, should work with a valid serial too. Let's see what happens. So we're going to run through LJ. That in there, and now we are on our compare. Now obviously this is going to actually, oh, I haven't applied his patch. But it's working. Oh, okay, it's already patched. This is his patched version. And then right, so this one looks like we that the original code? Let's see here. Patches, port, blue. Anyhow, let's see. Right now we're going to go to keep at it because we put in a correct serial, which is going to flip it. So now all good serials are bad serials. Now instead of modifying this one, patches, and this is all considered. Let's do restore selected. Now this is the patched version. Let's unpatch it, effectively unpatching it here, I would believe. And now we see that it will go in. So originally we were set NE. Let's rewind, apply that unpatchingness, and see what we get with the correct serial. So it's unpatched, I believe. Here, please can you give me your email to contact you? There are several ways you can contact me. Email is not one that's reliable for anyone. I don't check my email regularly, so set me zeros, test AL, jump for equal, and that's going to keep at it. So correct serial is returning falses, but a bad serial will not. Now, if we didn't do this one and just restore that and set the origin back to here, and we make the equal again, 8, let's see what happens now. We see now we have a 1 and it won't jump. So we don't really need to modify this one. We could just modify the jump, or, well, let's see the other submissions and we'll talk about that. But effectively it works, because majority of the cases people aren't going to have a valid serial if they're looking for a patched version, and patched version is going to let you in. So stream's current bitrate is higher than the recommended bitrate. Whoopsie. Okay, anyhow, let's take a look at let's look at Cat 5. See what he did. Go to patches, import Cat 5, one patch. So he changed that. He just patched the jump like we just talked about. That if you patch the jump, you don't need to patch anything else. See that here it's unpatched, and here it's patched with the correct serial. We're going to be bad. If we were to unpatch it, the correct serial would say you did it. So obviously that works as well. However, correct serials, not going to work. Right, so let's move on to crashes. Run once. Import crash. No. Oh, I know what's going on here. Test crash. Basic. Plus. Are these seriously case sensitive? 1P. Sure. Let's see. So what did he do? Go to this 401.4D9. Go to 401.4D9. Howdy Jumbo O, or Cat 5, apparently. Alright, so crash changed OF to BO, which is this guy here. Binary edit OF to BO and 94 to 01 binary edit. So we 94 CO. So he took this, set to AL, and said move AL 0. Or no, move AL 1. Which this will work for any given serial. What? Switch account just for this. You the man. Oh man, you the man. Alright, so and let's test that. If we run this and we put in a bad serial, which we can do real quick, you did it. Okay, we rewind this and we put in a good serial. LJ, paste. You did it. So he took it, instead of patching the jump, he patched the test condition. Well, not really the condition. He patched the outcome of the condition. The instruction that was going to set AL off of our compare, he said, forget about it. Just always set AL to 1. So no matter what, it's patched. Good job, Crash. And let's see, how would I do it? Let me get a fresh copy of it. Open basic lesson 1. Search for full string. Sure, why not? Excuse me. Here's our jump. Here's our set. Here's our test. We could nope this. We could replace that, or that. Or we could change this. But EBX is getting our return from here, and then we're putting, comparing this, what we get out of this one, with what we get out of that one, because what comes out of that one's going to be NEAX. Now, instead of doing that, I think I would do this. Compare with yourself. Or, alternatively, instead of doing that, we could do something like set carry. Will it ever? No. Carry it could do. Set overflow. So we're comparing two things with subtraction. We're not going to be able to overflow them. So there's your 1 byte patch. Let's hit run. After LJ, anything. Oh, it didn't work. Which, of course, it didn't work because if you're putting in letters, that will actually overflow. So, quickly get back to here. Copy address. Wonder if find wouldn't work. So, let's see. Carry work. Let's look at, oh, no. We want to set if not overflow. There we go. We're in a breakpoint right now. We reconnected. So, tune this a bit more because it's yelling at me about the bit rate being higher. It's literally set to 6,000, like not that high. Anyhow, so set not overflow. So that's going to look at O if it's 0, then it's going to set this to the 1, which, since we're comparing like whole numbers and compare is going to do a subtraction, getting that to overflow is going to be real hard. Let's try, but if we run that, you did it, and that will work. The reason set and E won't work in some cases is going to be the correct serials. So for example, if we go back to this and I do set not overflow and I put in the correct code, it's still going to work. Copy address we want. V. I'm doing Control G and then pasting that address I just copied. Grab that. But of course, alternatively, the one that stands out like first in my mind is just, hey, compare with yourself. You know, do that. Or even EAX and EAX. Doesn't matter. Because that's always going to compare. Well, it's going to be equal no matter what, because it's the same thing. Comparing with yourself. Obviously, yourself is going to equal yourself. Literally woke up, seen a notification. Nice. I was not here. I did not expect it to be. Well, sorry. This is kind of a tribute to all my buddies across the pond. Because I do have a lot of viewers in a lot of different time zones. So, you know, some of them will be late in my time, early in my time, sometimes afternoon in my time. I try to kind of spread it out so that kind of fair, and it kind of goes in line with whatever fits my schedule. Today, this morning, I've got some time, so we're getting one out of the way. Okay, how would you know when to use that? Really, it doesn't matter. Like, you can do it either way. All three of the ways that we saw and the way that I just showed, they work. And it's not stupid if it works. Now, if we were doing like a 1 byte challenge where you could only change 1 byte to patch it, set in E would be set not equal. So that's going to be when Z flag is not equal to when it is not set. So when it is not 1. So when when 0 is not, because set E is the Z flag is set. If we pause here and we put in the right code, let me grab one, close this one. Now, if we look here, the Z flag is set, meaning that this is going to say, check the Z flag. It's going to see that it is equal, or it's 1, and then it's going to set AL. I did look at all the submissions. I believe, did I miss one? Were you not here when we looked at yours? I think we looked at yours first. And then Crash did submit another screenshot of one, and let's see here. Yours was just the jump. You just patched the jump. No. Well, I can't even remember now, so let's have to open it because it all makes sense. And if you have questions, comments, throw them in. I'll address them at some point. Or I promise. Multiple times. I'll cover the same content until I'm blue in the face. Okay, yeah, it was the jump. Ah, yes. I did see the latest one where on Discord where it's a screenshot. Copy that link and we will look at it. because we haven't looked at that one on here. Boom. Okay. The original. I have to open the original. Open original. Okay. There we go. So, looks like we just applied a nope sled. So in that one, literally from 4C4 would be the last. Oh, wait. Scanf. Yeah. 4CF. From there, nope sled down to and including DF, which would be this whole chunk, just, you know, binary fill with nopes. Whoops. Binary fill with nopes. Oop. And of course, that's gonna just sled its way down and go, good job. All right, so let's move on to the next segment. Now, if you caught the description, if you guys were watching real close, you'll notice I opened 18 copies of that. I mean, you'll notice that that's good. Did you guys popped in together, came up with different ideas? That's perfect. Like, that's the name of the game. Put your heads together and learn. You know, that's how it's done. Now, this next one, how do you get the real key? So if you want to get the real key, we have to think of something. So if we remember the source code, this one calculates it off of our name. Analyze that. Does some stuff. This one takes our serial and does something to what we put in, and it needs to match what was calculated here. So if we breakpoint right here and run, and we put in blue night, and then we put in some random serial and hit enter, see the compare here, and it's going to be looking at EBX and EAX. Now EAX is what we put in, it's now negative, and EBX is the real one divided by 5. So we would take this, there we go, that times 5, there you go. So rewind, run. Go blue night serial. And now we should see that they are equal. Bloop, bloop. And to learn that it is just doing whatever we put in divided by 5, we'd look at this call and be like, okay, so it grabs it as text and converts it to integer. And then this here, we would have to watch it. Let's watch it. This will be a mild introduction to the floating point registers. Everything's going to be going on right in here once we get to that point. So go blue night. Let's put in the correct serial. Aha, yeah, I didn't know about the multiply by 5, and that's, unless you watched the video of us writing it, divide by 5 would be super easy to miss because you wouldn't know it unless you popped into this function and watched the magic. So it's going to take what we put in right now, it's going to put it on top of the stack. See it right here. Well, I mean, unless you watched it and like put together the correlation. I might have said it, I can't remember, but yeah. And that's what I mean by, like, even if you watch this, the source, the program being written, there's parts that you can miss or not see. Okay, so now it's going to call a to I, which is array characters to integer. And we see the top of the stack. We're going to send it this here number that we typed in, hit F8, and you'll see that it's now here, and it's X glory. And it's going to store that. Now, this here says, hey, that address we just stored that at, put that into STO. Now, if we watch STO and hit F8, boom, we see that our non-zero equivalent, well, I mean, we have a non-zero value, and it is what we typed in, but it's floating point. Now, we're going to push a constant stored at some weird address, following dump, constant, CD, may not know what that means, but we'll find out in a second because we're going to push it onto the ST registers, and you'll see that it's 0.2, very close to 0.2. And now it's going to multiply ST1 by STO. And we'll see that happen now. And it's going to always store it at the top, 1, 2, 3. And then it's going to cast that back up into here. We'll see it move into AX, AH. Do some more magic because it's floating point math. And then when we leave, we'll have our value. There it is. So the divide by 5 is the same as multiply by 0.2. And we hard-coded that constant, 0.2. And even though we hard-coded that constant, when it was moved to the floating point registers, you saw it wasn't quite there. And that's why we later developed double precision, because it's fuzzy math. But yeah, so that is where you would find that. The algorithm. Thing is blurry. Check. $60p. What in the? We recommend that you use a stream bitrate of 25. What? When did they change that? On my side, it doesn't look like it is blurry at all. Let's see. I'm going to try to change the bitrate, and we're going to see what happens when I do that. Apply. Okay. I've lowered it. Setting video output currently active. Please turn off. Okay, I won't change that. Recommended 2500. Fine, I'll set it to 2500. I feel like if I set it to 2500, it's gonna be like get everything will be a pixel. But fuck it, let's try it. See what it does. I did see your challenge where it's like, tell me what this try refreshing the page, Knight. I did see your challenge, Cat5. The hey, if anyone wants to challenge themselves, try to figure out what this does. Is that what you're talking about? If not, oh yeah. Just 100 lines of assembly code. A task from a book I'm reading. Practical reverse engineering. I thought it'd be nice if you could walk through the assembly code and analyze it. Be awesome and a real learning curve because we get to see pure analysis on the assembly instructions. I did download it. Let me copy link, grab it on here. Go. Open it with Notepad. DLL main. All right. That's gonna call does it compare all right, either way we're gonna end up here. Wait a minute. Great tool help 32 snapshot. What are we doing? Movie DIEAX. Okay. Short. B. Press 32 first. We're gonna. Wow. Not many people know about this, but basically you can use the help 32 snapshot, the tool help, to basically get a list of every thread running, and then, well, every process, and then within the process you can get the child processes. But so this is going to be stepping through it, looking for a specific one, and well, here it's going to, the address of string compare. Here it actually calls it. If 0, so if it equals, we're going to call D16, which is this, which looks like it just stores some stuff, calls 2DA. Here, compare EAX and ECX, random pop into ESI, all right. Jump if not equal to D318, which would be here. Move EAX, what's stored in the frame pointer, decrement it once. Jump if not equal to here. Otherwise, it's going to create a thread. And if it jumps to here, we're going to terminate gracefully. So we had another, okay, that will be, if we don't jump to here, we're going to terminate. So this is grabbing, would seem to me, just off of a quick glance, that it's grabbing a snapshot of the current system. It's going to go through the processes that are running. It's going to look for one that is running. And then, yeah, it's going to be going through those. Where does this get called from? CFO. Never saw this one. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, that's a loop. Okay. How do we get into it? In the beginning. Okay. Well, it would seem that this is not directly called. It may be returned to or mathed from or mathed to. But we do end up here, and this is going to be D16. D24. D16. D2A. Here. 8. Well, I think that I'm not seeing something, but at some point, you're either going to get into that loop, which was, where was it? The only thing, oh, right here. This is a loop that's going to go through and look for it's pushing an address, something stored at that address. It's doing the same thing that this is doing, but this one's not doing it in a loop. Or I'm missing something. Yeah, see this jumping out. But typically you're going to grab the first one, check it, like a do wow sort of thing, because this is going to run into this if this doesn't jump. The B9, yeah. So it'll run into it and then we'll loop looking through. When it finds it, will eventually either come into here and create some thread for that thing that we found. Oh, okay. It is monitoring to see if a program has died. If it doesn't see it, it relaunches it. That's what I'm thinking is going on here, because it's searching for the same string. 508. Oh, no. Not 508. Okay, so it's launching something else. I said to grab this. Okay, go. Not anywhere. God, I hate that bell. Okay, so it's something else. This was, we're totally getting sidetracked, but hey, it's okay. Like, so we're comparing current one with 7C50 in hex. And then we're either going to do this, enter a loop, or jump out and find it. We will either end up here or that location. That was up. Oh, well, I was not reading any of this. OFJ. Okay. Programming. Hashed win. Could be hello. Anyways, sorry. Could be a lot of things. Like checksum, or patch might have caused a fault somewhere. But without looking too much more at this, because I could spend a bunch of time doing that, it either watches for something to stop running or sees if it is not running and starts it, or it looks for something specific that is running and then launches something else. But it does create a new thread of whatever stored here. Got it. So it looks for something that is running, and if it is, it launches something else. It definitely launches a process. Getting it down to whether or not it's actually looking for its, I don't believe it's looking for itself, because the address that holds the name that it's looking for and the address that holds the command line that it will launch is different. However, if one was just before the other, it could just be the exe name and then a full path to it, and you would just move that. So it could still be the same without actually seeing the stored data. That makes it a little bit harder to tell. But go over the test statement, like test exe. In a minute, we got to get right back on track because we have version 2. Now, you're not going to get to see me write it because I already wrote it. But it is up. It's in the description. And I am going to put it on Discord right now. And you guys can get to work on it. It's not much different. Like, you'll notice this is all the same codes work. So if that's not mine, that's Blue Knight. So let's put in Blue Knight. Blue Knight. We did it. Anyways, so that's all the same, but how you get to that is very much different. Now, I'll show you the code. I'm not going to show you the disassembly. That's going to have to be a surprise on your half. But let me make sure I have this. I do have it somewhere. There it is. Let me get it on the Discord. So let's go up here. Video lessons, create channel. Call beginner lesson 2. Yeah. 2. There we go. Create. And beginner lesson 2. Let's drag this into here. This one has a few more. This one requires a little bit more depth. Have fun. You guys will. You're going to have so much fun. Upload. All right. So that's in there. It's on the Discord. Let me edit my post submission here. And let's pin that to the top. Oh yeah, pin it. Okay, that's pinned. There we go. All right, so basic lesson 2 is now up. You can grab it. How do I become? Say no more. Where is Mr. Cat 5? I just gotta find him. Where are you? There you are. You're not online. No roles. No roles? Jeez, should have at least been OG by now. Absolutely collective. Just from going through the videos and pointing out like the most like beneficial periods, by all means. There you go. Collective you are. Okay, so you're not going to get to see the disassembly, but well, I could show you this chunk of it because it's exactly the same. Okay, something is locking up. Not sure what, but my VM may have just died. Oh, there it goes. Okay, what is even? What the? Yeah, exit. Oh my. Wow. Machine, input, keyboard, Control delete. There may or may not be a giant memory leak in it. I don't know. Let's see. I don't think so. Yeah, we're fine. I don't know why it just dipped like that, but that was really annoying. Okay. Oh, it's still doing it. What in the hell? I think it's running a damn virus scan. That's annoying. I need to turn that off. Okay, so here is the code, and you'll get to see as much of it as you can while my computer is dying. We'll scroll them on down a bit. You'll see that there's a few new functions, a few new variables. And I think that my stream itself may have actually just paused. Like, I can't even tell. Not certain what's going on. Okay, stream's fine. My previews all wonky. My VM is killing itself. Not certain as to why. Let's do this. Machine, reset. Reset. Oh yeah, OBS is, oh yeah, it's got the right screen still. That's good. Usually it pops over to the damn, like, VirtualBox main window. Please hold for this brief intermission. Glad you decided to do these lessons. Thank you. I enjoy them much. Basically, because we are going to be creating slowly over time a combination of pretty much anything that you're ever going to come across and how to deal with it. What's going on? Yeah, you guys did definitely tear the first one apart. And I was impressed, like, how fast those all came in. Which flavor is that shisha pen? That is, I'd have to look, but it's let me just, I'll just go get it. Yeah, totally wearing sweats. It is called Base Nectar Freeze. It's supposed to be like mango, papaya, like mint, something like that. Minty, fruity. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, it's going to be trying to launch Linux. Don't do that. No, it won't. I think I took it out. Yeah, I did. Anyways, what I was saying was, I was super impressed with how fast, like the next day, like everybody was, you know, either commented what to do or had produced something. I kind of thought I was going to end up sitting around for a week and have like one, because there wasn't a whole lot of content. More or less just wanted people to try. So if you did try and you didn't submit, cool, because, you know, it's like own your own learning, right? Learn if you want to. If you don't, well, ain't hurting anybody but yourself. Which I always hated when teachers said that, because I was like, I'm here to learn. So, you stop talking to learn or teach already. Are we good students? Yeah, like, geez. It apparently didn't give you enough homework, but this one will, because this one addresses a common struggle that people have, and that is they'll only see what's on the surface. They won't see deeper than that. So real quick, there's a new function here. There's some new variables here. There's a new function here. There's a bit of a new step here. And that's all you get to see. I know I'm evil. Because the people who do write C++, they'll look at that and cringe for how bad it is. But basically, I wrote it so that the assembly would do certain things, and that's why I'm not showing you the assembly, because I want it to be a surprise. And the ways that I wrote it are going to require you to have a mindset that if you only see the surface, you'll never get it. You'd have to go through like 4 different chains and then be like, it still gets me. So it's really easy still. Like, it's not advanced. It's not meant to be hard. It's just meant to make you think. It's meant to make you take that next step, to learn the F7 button on calls, to look into calls and try to figure out when it's important to look in a call and when it's not so important and you can just look at its return value, because that is hard and it takes a lot of practice. And Cat 5 has a question. Ask away. But if you don't see any strings and you don't see message box, where do you go to find user input when entering a key or name or whatever? It will be a little bit harder to patch, Blue. He asked if it would be a harder to patch. Cat is asking, where do you get started if there's no strings, if there's no nothing, and you don't know where to find user input? I've had like 2 programs and struggled with that. So if it's command line input, you can look for scanf, gets, getC, scanf, cin. There are a few exported functions such as scanf or getch. You can find more. Yep, just like that. So if it's console input, like standard in input, you could even use fgets, I believe, or fscanf to open standard in as a file and read from it. So there's, like, if it's a console program, there's a lot of ways. Now, if it is a graphical program, usually whatever engine they're using to make that graphical user interface will have very, like, specific APIs for it. Like get input or get DLG item text A, if we are thinking back in the day. A lot of them nowadays, they like to do the like real-time input, so it's essentially get ch in a loop until it's just kind of in a loop. Or it's like on event driven on key up. So you would look for things related to processing input. So events around keys or functions that say something about getting text or reading. You can, of course, type something random in, and then let the program do its thing. Come back to the window where you're going to type something random in again, but this time type something else random in. try searching the memory for what you first typed in, see if it moved it anywhere. If it didn't, it's just writing over the same buffer, search for what you just typed in random, try to put a breakpoint on that and see if you can get the program to pause when you press another key or when you click the button. Yeah. And also, a good place to start, let's just see if we can. It's a 64-bit. Do I have System 32? Is this 64-bit? Oh, I guess we can do 64. Fine. Let's find out. All right, so we're in NTDLL, we're gonna hit run, we're in Notepad, we're gonna Control A to analyze, and then we're going to search for current module, intermodular calls. A good place is always gonna be, basically you'll type in the word create, and you'll look for things like create window, because you'll be able to find where it first fires up. We hit run, it's paused on create window. We know that we're about to create a window of some kind. So a lot of times you can look for like create dialog box. If you can find that, it'll usually get you pretty close, or it will show you the handler for it. For example, we're doing create window EX. One of these is going to be the handler for that window that's going to receive messages. Create message box would be typically just message box A or message box W. Let's see, search for intermodular calls, message, whoops. Yeah, it's going to be message box W for wide character or Unicode, and message box A for ASCII. And another place that's good is peek message, translate message, dispatch message. That's going to help you find that Windows procedure that is processing messages. So when, like in Notepad, for example, these menus all have, these are dialogues. When you click this and you send, new, it sends a message to that Windows procedure, and then it runs that. And if we grab Resource Hacker, it never hit any of my breakpoints. That can happen sometimes. And that sometimes you can even go a little deeper and put breakpoints at like user 32 or whatnot. But if it's like a Qt5 program or something written in Qt, a lot of times it's going to create a window or splash for that. So let's see here. Usually you can find your dialogues right in here. A lot of times, like if they use the old school like dialogue where you make one. Wait, what's this? Dialogue menu. Oh, you add one. Anyhow, you'll be able to find it here, and it'll be like you know, when they press file, you know, do this and whatnot. Yeah, Qt5 can be kind of a nuisance. Just because, like I was mentioning before, if it's a graphical user interface program, it's going to have very specific calls for doing things, like for getting input or for reading memory or for displaying things on the screen. It's going to only make available whatever it wanted to interpret for X. So a lot of times you'll look for its exports. In Qt, they're like this long and random damn strings. But we'll have to go over another example of a Qt5 program because I can't think of all of them now. But a lot of times what you can do is pretend you're writing the program and be like, Qt5 message box, Q message box class. So, you know, we would look for how to make that, and it'll have a button roll, icon, standard button, flags, and it could be done like this. Or you could look for those. Obviously, if you're typing in message box, you'd probably see that and be like, okay, that looks kind of fishy, or kind of like what I'm looking for. I will, in the next few days, be looking for some examples of programs that you don't know where to start. So submit those. We'll go over them and we'll at least get to the point where you can start. We'll go over those common sort of what to look fors. Excuse me. But for now, let's get you guys cracking on basic lesson 2. I mean, of course, you can take some time to go look for whatever's been ailing you and post that too. Add lock and something else. I'll put them in Discord. Yes, please put them in Discord. And I'll look at those. We'll go over them in the next one. So the next one, we'll go over any submissions, of course. And then we'll do a live code where we add to it, because I'll probably just take some ideas from y'all of what you might like to see in it as a next level. I think I'm going to put in a lot of tests, because I know that Blue wants to see, you know, statements like test EAX, EAX. I will say that in basic lesson 2, there are some tests. And there's a lot of segments where you can get a result very easily, or you can beat your head against a wall for a long time and still not get the result that you're looking for. Or you can beat your head against that wall for a long time, learn a lot, defeat it, and then go back and realize you could have done it in 10 minutes, because that, my friend, is how I learned. And still how I learn today, is I'll be doing it as hard as I can possibly think of, and I'll finally get it done, and I'll be like, yes, wow, that took a lot. And then I'll go back and be like, well, now I see it. Could have just done this. But the next time when you're put in that situation, you're like, aha, wait, I can, and just do this. Those types of quote unquote failures, or that's just learning. Like, it's not a failure if you learn from it. But with that being said, I am going to go get people awake here pretty quick, make some breakfast and get them where they go. And yeah, but good luck. I look forward to getting your submissions and going over them in the next one. And until then, never stop learning. And thank you.